In this lesson, we will learn about Microsoft Entra ID registered devices. First, we will answer the question why Entra ID registered devices. After that, we will learn about Entra ID device registration process, then registering a device to Entra ID. Finally, we will conclude our lesson with the review questions. So why Entra ID register devices? As you know, there is always the need for users to access enterprise apps from their personal devices. However, Entra ID has no knowledge about these personal devices, which ends up with blocking user access. By registering a device to Entra ID allows Entra ID to check the device status and conditions to decide whether to block or grant access to the device. Therefore, users can access the organization's Entra ID control resources using their personal devices. Now, let's go through the Entra ID device registration process. As you know, to register a device, the user can still log in with the local computer account. In this case, Ryan will log in with his wife account Martin, which is local to the computer. All he needs to do is to type in the password to log in. Now he wants to use Office 365 provided by IT Life Skills, so he needs to sign in to get started. It will prompt him to enter the username and the password of his account in Entra ID of IT Life Skills. After he provided the password and click on the sign in button, it will send his credential to IT Life Skills Entra ID. The Entra ID will hash the password and compare it with the hash of the password stored in his account, and if it equal, then Entra ID will prompt him to provide the MFA. After he approves the MFA on his phone, then the device registration process begins. After Ryan approved the MFA on his phone, he was authenticated. The Entra ID then generates his ID token and sends it to his personal computer. The personal computer then generates the device keys, which includes the device public key and device private key used to sign authentication requests and prove device identity. It then generates the transport keys, which includes the transport public key and transport private key used to securely receive sensitive data from Microsoft Entra ID. Finally, it generates a destination data if the TPM chip is available. Next, his personal device will send the device registration request to the device registration service in Entra ID, which includes the user ID token, the device public key, the transport public key, and the attestation data if TPM chip is available. Upon receiving the device registration request, Microsoft Entra ID validates the ID token, then creates the device objects. After that, it generates the section key and encrypts it with the transport public key and sends it to the client device. The client encrypts the transaction key with the transport private key to get the session key and store it in the TPM chips. Finally, it generates the device certificate and issues it to the client device. After creating the client device objects, Entra ID stores the device ID, device public key, registration timestamp, OS and platform info, user association, and join type in the device object. This information will be used in the authentication and authorization process in the future. After being registered, the device stores the device certificate at such local machine My Personal Store and the device private key in TPM because the device certificate and the device private key will be used in the future authentication and authorization process with Microsoft Entra ID. Before registering a personal device with Microsoft Entra ID, let's verify IT Life Skills. Microsoft Entra ID allows users to register their personal devices. To do that, we need to click on Microsoft Entra ID, then click on Devices, then click on Device Settings. As you can see, currently it is configured to allow all users to register their devices with Microsoft Entra. Let's log into this computer using a local account, IT Life Skills. As you can see, this account doesn't even have a password, so all we need to do is to click on Sign In. Now, to register this computer in a formal way, we search for the account, then click on Manage Your Account and click on Access Work or School. Now, to register this personal computer using Ryan's account, we need to click Connect. Then we type in his email address and click Next. Here we type in his password, then click on the sign in button when we finish. After Ryan is authenticated, Entra ID will send his ID token to this personal computer for it to generate the key pairs and construct the device registration request to Entra ID for Entra ID to create the computer account. Now we are all set. Let's check to make sure Entra ID created the computer objects. To do that, we click on Microsoft Entra ID, then click on Devices, then click on All Devices. Here is the computer object. Let's click on it to open. As you can see, it contains the computer name, the device ID, the object's ID, and the current status is enable. And it also contains the OS version of the personal computer, and the join type is Microsoft Entra Register, and the current owner is Ryan Brown. Everything looks good. Let's conclude our lessons with the review questions.